the district website for the review of our voting officers for the business meeting to be held on May 20th virtually. We have 7 speakers this evening. 5 candidates for division director and 2 candidates for our district leadership positions. I will present a question to each of our candidates. They will be given 2 minutes, a hard 2 minutes to respond. Justice Anderson is going to be timing our speakers this evening. Again, we have 5 candidates for the 5 candidates for the 7 division director positions. Currently, we do not have an applicant for the office of Division A director or Division L director, and we do not have a candidate for the office of Club Growth Director. Before the virtual meeting for our district council, we fully expect to have candidates for those 3 positions, should we still need to fill them. Madam Zoom Master, did you want to set up a side meeting room for any of the candidates?
That's a good question, David. You're going to give the same question to each candidate?
Yes. So
does
all
it matter if anybody hears it?
No, it doesn't really matter to me because we are all sharing this experience. So,
right. If we were in person, we would all be in the same room.
That's true. There you go. But in a larger sense, we are all in the same room.
We are. We're all in this together.
Because we are Toastmasters. I'm going to commence with the candidate statements, and we'll take these in the division directors in talkers order. So our first candidate this evening, please welcome Shed Mayberry, candidate for Division T. Shed, are you on? Are you there? Okay. You are going to receive the same question as all of our candidates. Now the Toastmasters experience is currently an entirely virtual one. What opportunities for growth do you see for our members and our clubs?
Say again, sir.
The question again. Now that the Toastmasters experience is currently an entirely virtual one, what opportunities for growth do you see for our members and our clubs?
Yes, sir. So my name is Shed Mayberry. I am currently the Division T Director. The current opportunities that I see as we are going online are we can reach out and visit other clubs that we normally do not have an opportunity to do. We can save gas money. For instance, one of my clubs is Hayes. Instead of me driving 2 hours, I can visit them online. And also to visit new clubs and gain those new experiences as we go online. A lot of times we use the excuse of it's too far, or the weather isn't good, or I can't make it because of work or whatever. But right now, in the world of digital Zoom meetings, we can now take those excuses out and attend meetings. For instance, I attended a lunch meeting today that I normally cannot attend because I'm working. But today I got the opportunity to visit actually 2 lunch clubs today that I usually don't visit, or I will have to take time off to visit. So that's a great opportunity for me to be able to visit those clubs and still be able to go back to work at the same time. This is also a great opportunity to invite those members that are introverts that love to stay in and don't like the in-person meetings, which I love the in-person meetings, but they can now have a chance to sit into their homes and have that experience in their house and express their Toastmaster experience. Those are some of the opportunities that I see with the online. Just to continue to share our experiences outside of our norms, outside of our distance in which we can talk to other states, to other cities, and even to other countries if need be, to be able to experience and have that Toastmaster experience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shed. Our next candidate for the same question, Peter Pizor. Now that the Toastmasters experience is currently an entirely virtual one, what opportunities for growth do you see for our members and our clubs?
Thank you very much. We are able to go totally worldwide. We can move anywhere we want, and it's going to be easy to do and to arrange. One of the things that happens is when it makes it easier to go from club to club, because you can tune in from your office and visit. You can catch up with clubs that you would not normally be able to reach out to. One of the great advantages to this is it allows for more quality. So smaller clubs that have trouble getting enough speakers can certainly go to those clubs that have a long waiting list for people to speak and invite them to come in and participate, so there can be more sharing. At the same time, one of the downsizes of this is that there's going to be a flight to quality. Those clubs that are doing the best are going to have a chance to grow their, quote, market share, and that has not been so much the case with geographic isolation. There's unlimited room for growth, and I think that's easy. There's no upper limit on how many people can come in, and that's going to be very helpful. Also, the virtual format allows us to apply real-world skills. So the skills that we're using in our office environments are really important here. And this provides, from a marketing point of view, a very safe place for people to learn and practice how to use these online skills, how to test their microphones, how to test what happens with their face quality, and how they project in a visual environment. So all of these are very, very positive. What I think I like best about it will be the flight to quality and an improvement in what we're doing. One of the changes is going to be an increase in speed. So when we move into basically a television or theater sitting, that situation is based on much more careful use of time, much more focused use of time, and a very much more important way of getting things precise and down to the second. I've had an ability to sit in with quite a few online clubs, and one of the things that I've noticed is those that are tightly organized do better. So you need somebody who can move things along, and it opens the door for new offices. The Zoom master or the virtual reality director. So those are what I'm thinking about. I think it's going to be a great time.
Thank you, Peter. Our next candidate, Rick Chandler.
Yes.
Yes. Now that the Toastmasters experience is currently an entirely virtual one, what opportunities for growth do you see for our members and our clubs?
Thanks, David. I think there's three things that are really going to stand out in the current environment we're in. Shed mentioned easier to visit, and that's certainly true. I visit a lot of clubs, and they need that quality. So instead of having a flight to quality, we need to bring qualities to some of those clubs that are smaller to show them the skills that they can develop that they might not develop because they're in a smaller club in the middle of nowhere, or even just because they're downtown and that sort of thing. So I can name a half a dozen clubs that just need some skilled people to come in. Number two, this is a different medium, and frankly, it's the medium of the future. I think the days of flying somebody to come give a keynote speech to dozens of people or hundreds of people for an hour are over. I think this is going to really force people to speak in a different way. We're already seeing brevity is important. As Peter said, we're already seeing you better run a tight meeting. And frankly, all of our meetings should be tight. They should have been tight in the first place, but he's right, they're not. This is going to really highlight those differences. And the third thing I think you're going to see is leaders emerge. We're seeing some clubs where those leaders are coming up, they're stepping up to the plate, and they're making things happen. We have to identify those leaders, groom them for the future so that they're on these calls 3 or 4 years from now. I think that's what we need to do, because in the end, we're trying to help people communicate with confidence to lead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rick. Our next candidate, Jerome Montgomery for Division Director. Jerome Montgomery, now that the Toastmasters experience is currently an entirely virtual one, what opportunities do you see for growth for our members and our clubs?
Thank you for the question. I think this will be a great opportunity to improve the scalability of our clubs, our various club memberships. Because we are going virtual, as several gentlemen had mentioned earlier, the need to actually travel to a destination is not needed anymore. So that means that more people are able to join. And as we constantly improve upon the structure of the meeting and making sure that it's run tight and making sure that the retention rate is great, this is going to be a huge opportunity for club memberships to go through the roof. Because at the end of the day, I know it eliminates a lot of the excuses as to why people can't attend meetings. It's too far, like Shed mentioned, or whatever excuse that they have or reason for not needing to show up for a meeting. And just being able to click a link and learn how to communicate, unmute yourself, give a presentation virtually is going to be huge. As Rick mentioned, this is the way of the future, and it's good. Toastmasters is a good place to start with that.
Okay. Our last candidate for Division Director, Scott Caldwell. Scott Caldwell. Now that the Toastmasters experience is currently an entirely virtual one, what opportunities for growth do you see for our members and our clubs? Scott Caldwell.
Good evening, everyone. We are at such an unprecedented time, and I know we're hearing that phrase a lot. And what I could speak to specifically about growth and a change of way of doing business is my career. I'm a food salesman. Imagine being a food salesman in a time like this. Empty parking lots, big change, things going on. But the biggest thing that I've noticed that compares and that I would give a word picture to is in the restaurant community, business people get into catering sometimes by accident. The first person will call and say, hey, could you help me out? I've got a church event. I need 12 meals, and they have to work that into a Sunday. And suddenly, by accident, they become a caterer. Well, in the same way, what's happening for us as a country and us as Toastmasters is we're evolving too into a virtual world by accident. But here is the glass half full in this situation as I see it. We're getting better. And I'm happy to tell you, in the restaurant industry and the customers I serve, they've adapted, they've overcame, they're understanding the challenges and what it's going to take. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I have a lot to learn in Zoom. I'm looking at my face right now, and I've got a pixelized thing going on, and I can only assume that I did something wrong in my settings. Well, that's a learning opportunity. And so as we move forward in Toastmasters and we learn, we're not going to just grow, we're going to explode in growth. And I'm just thankful to be part of this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. We will now move on to the candidates for our district leadership trio positions. Our candidate, only candidate at this time for Program Quality Director, please welcome Christy Profitt. Christy Profitt. The Toastmasters experience is currently an entirely virtual one. What opportunities for growth do you see for our members, our clubs?
Thank you, David. I would like to say that our window of opportunity may be very short-lived in this virtual world of using Zoom with Toastmasters. It doesn't have to be that way. I did recently learn from our international president, Deepak Menon, that the average age of a Toastmaster member in India is 27. I don't think that's the case here in America. It's probably close to twice that age. How can we utilize this technology to bring in younger members? We all need to bring up that next generation of communicators and leaders within our professional environment. We need to bring up those leaders that are going to replace us eventually, and maybe we can utilize this technology to do that. So I suggest, as some of my clubs have done, is that we continue to utilize this technology. I've recently signed up a never member that was not familiar with Toastmasters utilizing Zoom, and signed her right up on the website and got her dues and everything. Got a member from another state to sign up because he can visit our meeting via Zoom, and when he's in town, he can visit in person. How can we capture this technology and use it going forward and not let it fall by the wayside when we're able to meet back in person? Appeal to that younger generation, and also get them to experience and find the value in this program. We have to get our members to find value because their time is precious. How can we get them to find value in this program? By utilizing such mediums as Zoom, get them to experience it, get them to visit other meetings, and darn it, ask for the sale. Close the sale, ask them to join, and then continue to use this medium if it will work for you and your members.
Thank you, Christy. Now, a 2-minute response from our candidate for District Director, Joanne Monroe. Joanne Monroe, now that the Toastmasters experience is currently an entirely virtual one, what opportunities for growth do you see for our members and our clubs?
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. I thank you for this opportunity to share with you ideas. The online environment that we are in now has really boosted our ability to be able to visit clubs and have meetings that you can see each other without having to travel a long distance to get to each other. I think in the future year, or even this year and coming up, we may be able to explore having trainings online. We've been working at doing that for our upcoming Train the Trainer, and possibly some of our areas will be able to have club officer training. That's not positive yet, but that is certainly an area that we could explore having. And by doing that, I think that would help reach those other areas, as Shed mentioned, the far outlying clubs like Hayes or Independence, Kansas. Those are all places that take several hours to get to a location where we have normally been having our club officer trainings. So if we open up to be able to have these trainings through a virtual, Zoom session, that will undoubtedly allow more than just the normal people in close proximity to be able to attend those. And by doing that, the officers will be better trained and be able to go back to their clubs and really boost that quality club experience. We hope that that will also build more leaders of today or of tomorrow, so that we can encourage them to mentor others, either virtually as well, in getting onto pathways and helping them learn to navigate through that process. As many of the candidates have mentioned, being able to go to visit another club has been one thing that's been really exciting for me, because as a leader in the district, I really had been wanting to visit many clubs, but just due to distance or timing, it has been difficult to do so. And I believe that now we have the opportunity to be able to visit clubs through their online meetings and get to know more people throughout the district, and really garner that fellowship that we have with each other. I agree that being able to have some more experienced members go to the clubs that have are struggling or need more members to fulfill their meeting roles would be definitely helpful. And just through having the meetup and online availability through our Find a Club on the TI website, you may get members that come in and say, let's see what that club's like, so we can see what Toastmasters is all about. And I think that that would be an excellent way to share with members and outside Toastmasters as well what our clubs are actually all about. So as district director next year, I would plan to support the clubs and our district leaders in all that we can do. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. Well, thank you all for participating this evening, and we look forward to seeing the results of our elections on May 20th, and perhaps seeing some new colleagues added to your number within the next couple of weeks. We've had some wonderful ideas introduced this evening about inviting new members in, encouraging younger people, and reinforcing the structure of our meetings, and seeking opportunities to connect with Toastmasters clubs beyond our common reach. So thank you all this evening to all of our candidates, and I know that District 22 appreciates your contributions this evening and the contributions that you will continue to provide in the coming year. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening. The second appointment of our candidate showcase, we have the lovely and talented Terry Ann Porter, who is going to be our Zoom master this evening. For this evening's event, we are going to ask each of the three candidates who are speaking tonight to give a 2-minute response to the same question. All three will receive the same question, and you will have 2 minutes to respond. Andre read with the lovely golden curtains behind him. Primarily, we would cut you off minutes. We've not just set with the candidates who hold you to that. Just please watch the timing. It will be timed just as if you were replying to table topics. Green at 1 minute, yellow at 1.5 minutes, red at 2 minutes. The protocol would dictate that you would stop at 2 minutes and we would start applauding. But we're not going to do that this evening because we did not exercise that protocol 2 weeks ago. Again, we have 3 candidates that we are speaking with this evening. 2 candidates for Club Growth Director Dan Arbuckle and April Hendrickson, and a candidate for the Division A Director, Aman Bhatt. Okay.
Yes, we appear to be
I was
having
just
some
watching. I was
issues.
looking at a note. Okay.
We appear to be having some issues. If we could get everyone who does not need to be on, please turn off your video and make sure everybody turns off your audio except the speaker.
We are going to proceed with our candidate for Division A Director, Aman Bhatt. You will, again, 2 minutes to reply. Your question. Now that the Toastmasters experience is currently an entirely virtual one, what opportunities for growth do you see for our members and our clubs?
That's an excellent question, David, and thanks for bringing that up. Now that everything is entirely online, I see it as an opportunity for all the members in Toastmaster. It can be opportunity for anyone who joined Toastmaster and was reluctant to really come and showcase their skills in front of video. It was a terrible horror experience for some of the members because they were very shy to showcase their skills. That is one thing. Another thing is, as a leader, as a district leader, you will be easily available to enter into any club's meeting just by clicking a button. How easy is that? And it cannot get more easier. So you can showcase your skills, improve your skills on video. You can attend any club meeting as a leader and introduce the feedback or give them feedback on whatever challenges they are facing and how they can overcome that. There are no excuses left now that I live so far and my office is so far. I cannot attend these meetings at the lunchtime. Those all excuses are gone. Even you can attend any meeting in any district, in any area of the world. So how awesome is that? It cannot get more easy to attend a Toastmasters meeting, improve your skills, communication skill, leadership skill, find a new mentor from any other club, any other district. If you are facing a challenge to find that in your district, learn from other districts, learn from other clubs, learn from different members, and learn how they showcase their skills. And you can have one-on-one communication with your area directors, with any of the members that you need to. And you can share the knowledge, share the enthusiasm, share the experience. And I think, in my view, this is the best opportunity that leaders and communicators in Toastmasters can ever have, and we should make the best use of it. Thank you.
You're on mute, David.
David, you're muted.
Now I am unmuted. I'm more audible this way. Let's take our club growth director candidates in alphabetical order by last name. So Dan Arbuckle. There you are, Dan.
How's it going?
Doing beautifully. Let me get back to my Dan, now that the Toastmasters experience is currently an entirely virtual one, what opportunities for growth do you see for our members and our clubs?
Well, Amanda pointed out so many great opportunities and the flexibility that the current world gives us, but just those things you can practice. These are meetings you are probably going to have during your normal workday, especially as we slowly get back to work and more people are working from home. It lets you practice not only work skills, your Toastmaster skills. If I have a speech that I want to work on and I have a mentor, say it's Andre and he's on vacation, but he has 15 minutes to listen to me work on a speech, you can connect so easily. Hopefully from a growth standpoint, we can take advantage of it. We've recently had a handful of clubs that have had lots of problems with numbers. We could use Zoom to possibly let those 2, 3, 4 people that are left in a club that doesn't quite have 8 join a club that is in good standing, at least participate with those clubs. I can see the potential to even combine a couple of small clubs with another club that's not quite there to get to that 20, 25 member point so that they can start a new club. I mean, we can take advantage of those people far out in western Kansas. A couple of small towns have a handful of people at one library, yet a bigger town has 16, 17 people that they need a few to drive them over the top to start a brand new club. Well, we're all meeting remotely. It doesn't really matter where we're at. And hopefully by the time that we actually meet together, those people from those 2 smaller towns could join with the larger town remotely whenever possible, actually going to that larger town and being there in person. So maybe we can explore some growth opportunities that we haven't quite had the technology to take advantage of in the past. At the very least, it's going to let us grow our skills, grow our communication with people from all corners of the world, which is only going to benefit all of us. And with that, I'm not frozen. I'm actually done. So thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
April.
Yes.
All right, there you are. April, now that the Toastmasters experience is currently an entirely virtual one, what opportunities for growth do you see for our members and our clubs?
Thank you, David. That's an excellent question. I was just brainstorming while Aman and Dan were speaking, and it kind of made me excited of all the new clubs that could be formed with all of this new online enthusiasm. I was thinking of moms groups that could meet at libraries or people's homes, and that could be a Toastmasters club. I could also think of how prison clubs could explode in a good way, how we could better the inmates and they could become better speakers and leaders inside their prisons in Toastmasters clubs or gavel clubs, and definitely just grow Toastmasters membership that way. I was also thinking of the experience that we all have with our pets roaming around, our significant others, and just kids walking around. They are hearing you and seeing your dedication to you sitting in front of your computer and just having a good time, laughing, smiling. So I think this is all a very good experience. And I think that it's a very good time for Toastmasters to grow and to just hop on the board of online membership. Thank you.
Thank you, April. This completes the candidate showcase for this evening. We've had some marvelous insights into how we can reach into clubs from outside for people who are new Toastmasters, perhaps even a new generation of people looking to join Toastmasters, and also how we can expand our Toastmasters experience beyond the confines of the club experience. So we have some great potential for in the vision for District 22 for the 2020-2021 year, and we look forward to seeing these results, these interviews posted on the district website soon, and the elections to be held during the district business meeting on May 20th. So thank you all for participating this evening, and I look forward to working with all of you. And as always, thank you for all that you do.